How many stocks should you hold in your portfolio? That's what we're going over today, guys. What's going on? My name is Chris. Thanks for joining the channel. Today we're going to start this episode with a clip from Warren Buffett himself. This is a man that's been investing for 79 years. A lot of you guys haven't even been alive for 79 years, and if you have, congratulations. Warren Buffett bought his first stock at 11 years old and has been investing his whole entire life. This man shares a lot of wisdom and has become one of the richest people in the world, with giving over half of his wealth away throughout his lifetime, and is dedicated to give 99% of his wealth away after he dies. So this man knows a lot about the stock market, and I highly suggest you guys paying attention to this clip and seeing what he has to say on how many stocks you should hold. Then after that clip, I'm going to go over how many stocks you should hold from 0 to 1,000, 1,000 to 10,000, 10,000 to 100,000, and 100,000 to a million. So hit that spicy like button, hit the subscribe button, and let's get started.
We think diversification is, as practiced generally, makes very little sense for anyone that knows what they're doing. Diversification is a protection against ignorance. I mean, if you want to make sure that nothing bad happens to you relative to the market, you own everything. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, that is a perfectly sound approach for somebody who does not feel they know how to analyze businesses. If you know how to analyze businesses and value businesses, it's crazy to own 50 stocks or 40 stocks or 30 stocks probably, because there aren't that many wonderful businesses that are understandable to a single human being in all likelihood. And to have some super wonderful business and then put money in number 30 or 35 on your list of attractiveness and forego putting more money into number one just strikes Charlie and me as madness. And it's conventional practice, and it may, if all you have to achieve is average, it may preserve your job, but it's a confession in our view that you don't really understand the businesses that you own. On a personal portfolio basis, I own one stock, but it's a business I know, and it leaves me very comfortable. Do I need to own 28 stocks in order to have proper diversification? It'd be nonsense. And within Berkshire, I could pick out 3 of our businesses, and I would be very happy if they were the only businesses we owned and I had all my money in Berkshire. Now, I love the fact that we can find more than that and that we keep adding to it. But 3 wonderful businesses is more than you need in this life to do very well. And the average person isn't going to run into that. I mean, if you look at how the fortunes were built in this country, they weren't built out of a portfolio of 50 companies. They were built by someone who identified with a wonderful business. Coca-Cola is a great example. A lot of fortunes have been built on that. And there aren't 50 Coca-Colas. There aren't 20. If there were, it'd be fine. We could all go out and diversify like crazy among that group and get results that would be equal to owning the really wonderful one. But you're not going to find it. And the truth is, you don't need it. I mean, if you have a really wonderful business, is very well protected against the vicissitudes of the economy over time and the competition. I mean, we're talking about businesses that are resistant to effective competition, and 3 of those will be better than 100 average businesses, and they'll be safer, incidentally. I mean, there is less risk in owning 3 easy to identify wonderful businesses than there is in owning 50 well-known big businesses. And it's amazing what has been taught over the years in finance classes about that. But I can assure you that I would rather pick, if I had to bet the next 30 years on the fortunes of my family that would be dependent upon the income from a given group of businesses, I would rather pick 3 businesses from those we own than own a diversified group of 50. Charlie?
Yeah, what he's saying is that much of what is taught in modern corporate finance courses is twaddle.
I hope you guys enjoyed that clip from Warren Buffett. He's a very wise man and one of my favorite investors to follow. He's become so wealthy in the stock market and is such an idol to all of us investors, especially us that hold for the long run. So in my personal opinion, if you have $0 to $1,000 in the stock market at this moment, I suggest you only hold one stock. And you've heard Warren Buffett say something about this in that clip I showed you. A lot of times when people get invested into the stock market, they want to go buy 20, 30, 40 stocks to diversify their portfolio. But what they don't realize is if one of those stocks do really great, a lot of times you're not even getting the potential out of that stock to help your portfolio. Point of finding this one stock whenever you're starting in the stock market, you're still a baby, you're so small in the stock market, is that when you have that $0 to $1,000, you want to maximize your return on the investment. Now, if you get that 100, 200, 300, 400% gain, if you can just pick one stock that is safe and that has a great balance sheet and has great things coming for them that nobody else can see, or in a market that nobody else is paying attention to, you can really maximize your gains. That's why I believe you should have one stock from $0 to $1,000. Things get a little bit more spicy once you hit that $1,000 mark and you're on your way to $10,000. When you're on your way to $10,000, I highly suggest you pick 1 to 2 stocks now, because now you can expand your portfolio just enough to help protect yourself if that one stock does go bad. When you're investing and you have under $1,000 in the market, it's better to make that loss today than it would be if you have $20,000 or $50,000 in the market. So whenever you have $1,000 to $10,000 in the market, pick 1 to 2 stocks that you truly believe in, that are truly strong companies that you want to hold for the long run. Make sure these stocks are safe. Make sure these stocks are worth your investment. Spend your time researching these stocks and spend your time knowing these stocks and the fundamentals of these companies down to the core. I want you to be like a CEO of this company. Understand every piece of news that comes out for these companies. Understand every single 100% about these companies. This will really help you grow your portfolio and really understand how the market works and how to maximize your gains. Also, I see so many people whenever they have that $1,000 to $10,000 mark, they invest in, 10, 20 stocks, and then they see one stock explode and they say, well, I should have put all my money in that stock and then I would have $10,000 or $20,000, but instead they diversified way too much, and now that one stock that exploded only made them a profit of maybe $500. And that's where you're holding yourself back, is you're not finding the one company that truly is going to grow over time. You're scared and you don't want to pick stock. You have to do the research and you have to be confident in what companies you are invested in today if you want to grow that portfolio. If you're scared and you don't understand how to pick stocks, then go invest in the index fund. That is okay. That is a safe way for your money to grow. It will grow at a very average rate. It'll grow that 8 to 10% a year. You won't even have to pay attention or worry about what your money's doing. But if you really want to pick stocks, then from that $1,000 to $10,000 mark, you need to pick the companies that you truly believe in. You need to pick the companies that are truly going to grow over time and maximize that gain. Once you get to the $10,000 mark, your next goal is going to be $100,000. And in my belief, you should pick 2 to 5 stocks that you truly want to invest in. And now you can start taking a little bit more of a risk. So I suggest that you pick 3 stocks that you really know that are going to grow over time. They're solid. They're not going anywhere. They're going to grow for sure. And then you pick 2 other stocks that I call spec stocks. And these stocks could really help your portfolio grow. And these stocks could become the biggest gainers that you've ever seen in your life. And these stocks are the stocks that can make you rich. These are the ones that will get you to $100,000. These stocks will grow your portfolio like crazy. One of my biggest spec stocks was back in 2017. I invested over $8,000 in Tesla. I have an average cost base of $49.50 in Tesla today. It was one of the biggest plays I had, and I definitely took a risk in that stock, but it paid off massively because I saw the future of this stock. I saw it, but it was a speculative stock. They were losing billions every quarter. Everybody was screaming that they were going to zero, and I truly believed in the future the EV market was going to take over. I also really loved his self-driving technology, and I saw how it could advance over time. I saw the way that technology snowballed into better and better things over time. And just 3 years later, this stock has done way better than I could have ever imagined. This stock is almost at $450 today. So don't be scared to take risks in companies that you truly believe in. And these two stocks that you pick from that $10,000 to $100,000 mark are going to be the life-changing stocks for your portfolio. I'm not saying to gamble your money away, and I'm definitely not saying to ignore those big stocks like Facebook and Google that are going to grow over time no matter what and aren't going to disappear tomorrow. But I'm saying think outside the box. Pick a stock that you truly believe in, that everybody's looking over and they're not paying attention to, and they don't understand the future. Pick these stocks, and these stocks will change your portfolio, and it'll get you to that $100,000 mark, I promise. Once you get to $100,000 in the stock market, I truly believe that you guys will understand how to pick individual stocks and how to maximize your gains on those individual stocks. It would have taken you 10 times longer to get to this position if you would have picked 30 stocks, 40 stocks, instead of just picking those 2 to 5 stocks. And once you hit that $100,000 mark, I suggest you have 5 to 8 stocks that you truly believe in. These stocks are not going to just come to you overnight. These stocks are not, you're not going to just do one day's worth of research and find 8 great stocks in the stock market. That's not how this works. Whenever you're looking for these 8 stocks, you need to pick the 5 to 8 stocks that are going to do the best over all of these companies, over all of these stocks, over all of these people. You need to pick those 5 to 8 companies that are going to make your portfolio get to $1 million. If you have 5 stocks in your portfolio at $100,000, I suggest you keep 3 or 4 companies that are solid companies that are going to make sure that your portfolio does not fall under that $100,000 mark. And 2 to 1 companies that are those spec stocks or those stocks that are going to help your portfolio grow massively over time. And whenever one of those really solid companies fall and you're way up on another position, then you can take your profits from one position and put it in another position that's down, and it'll help your portfolio grow even faster because you know that that company's not going anywhere. You know that company's going to grow over time. And keep them spec stocks on the side with less than 10% of your portfolio in them, and those spec stocks could become massive gainers and outperform the safer stocks in your portfolio. But if they don't, they're not going to drag your portfolio all the way back down to zero. You're still going to be in a good position where you can pull that money out or take a loss on some of these spec stocks, because no investor ever has only made gains in stocks. There's going to be companies that you truly believe in that go down. They're not going to always go up, believe it or not. You could be the bullish person on the planet on these companies, and just because you believe that these companies are going to succeed doesn't mean their management teams, doesn't mean that their companies, doesn't mean that a Roni Rona's not going to hit them. There's always things that happen in these companies that can make these companies go down, and that's why I believe you should have 5 to 8 stocks in your portfolio when you're over $100,000. And with these strategies, I promise you, you'll get to that $1 million mark. You'll succeed past that mark. And in picking just these few individual stocks on the way up, you're going to understand these businesses. You're going to be able to understand how to pick the next best business. You're going to make mistakes. And when you make those mistakes, you'll understand why those businesses are going down. It doesn't make sense to have 50 stocks in your portfolio and just say, oh, well, this stock's going up and this stock's going down, but overall I'm average, I'm going up 10% a year, so it doesn't matter. No, you want to maximize your potential in the stock market. You want to maximize your gains in the stock market. As a stock picker, that's what you do. That's why you are in here doing it. You're not stock picking to pick 50 companies or 30 companies to be in. You're in the stock market to pick the best companies for the next 5 to 10 years, guys. So remember, stay long on these companies, stay focused on these companies, keep up with the news on these companies, understand the companies that you are invested in and where they are going. And when you understand these companies, you'll be able to see when they're failing and when they're succeeding. It's way easier to keep up with 5 stocks than it is 30 stocks, I promise you. And it's less of a headache, and you'll be way more enthusiastic about those few companies than you would if you had a portfolio full of 30 companies. I hope you guys got some great information from this video today. My name is Chris. Thanks for joining the channel. If you made it this far, we're trying to get to 100 subscribers this month. So please hit that spicy like button, hit the subscribe button. That's all for today. Peace out.